And so it all begins again. We're finally entering that stage where we get at least one interesting news story every few days. They've started shooting, which is a big deal. There were some questions about, for a while there, would Dawn Treader even get made, and now they finally started shooting. So, very important moment. We've had casting announcements, the press releases come out, a lot of controversies come out of that. I won't have time to cover everything about the press release in this video, in the next video, I hope. First pictures of the actors in costume, and of course, the Dawn Treader herself. Which is what I'm going to talk about first, because that's what gave me a major fangasm. Like, I completely freaked out over it. It's the Dawn Treader, but the Dragon Prow in particular is what I just felt this geeky excitement that I haven't felt in a long time. Maybe not even for Prince Caspian, honestly. I just got so excited when I saw it. One of the most iconic images in the whole series is the Dragon Prow at the front of the Dawn Treader. I know there's a lot of mixed feelings about this in the Narnia web forum. If you see what fans are saying. Most people are like, oh, I don't know. They're kind of on the fence, and there's some who hate it, and there's a few who love it. I absolutely love it. On the Narnia web front page right now, there's a poll where you can rate the prow on a scale of 1 to 5. I gave it a solid 5. Is it how I imagined it from the book? No, not really. But it looks mythical. It looks like something you might see carved on a wall in some legend or something like that. It looks sort of iconic. It's the kind of thing. It looks like it could be a symbol of some kind. Just kind of the similar reasons that I like the design of the lion on Peter's shield. It looks like an icon. It looks like a symbol out of some ancient legend. I think this kind of evokes that idea. I always like seeing primary colors in Narnia as well. I like the mouth open, how it's kind of roaring to the east. I think that'll be a really cool visual. Speaking of visuals, what I really want to see is, in the book talks about Reepicheep going up to the prow and sort of gazing to the east, and he never felt like the ship was getting on fast enough. I think that captures what the book is about so much. Just that Reepicheep embodies that idea so well of longing for something else, longing for adventure, longing for your true purpose, to finding where you belong. And I would love to see that visual of Reepicheep standing on the dragon's head, gazing to the east, and play some dramatic music or something, and maybe have him silhouetted by the sun. I think that's one of the visuals from the book that I really remember, is that image of Reepicheep looking east, and I would really like to see that. So I give 5 out of 5 to the Dragon Prow. I think it looks awesome. The major criticism of it you're seeing right now is that it looks plasticky and kind of fake, and like something out of a carnival or something like that. I don't disagree with that. It does look fake in this picture, but this is the reason productions strive for secrecy, is that they don't want to show things until they're ready to be shown. Everything you see in the film was made to stand up to the cameras and lighting conditions they're going to be used. I mean, if you've seen special features on a DVD, you know that very often the sets and the costumes don't look nearly as good when you see them on special features, because they were specifically designed to look good with certain cameras and under certain conditions. So of course it's not going to look great. Again, they don't want to show things until they're ready to be shown, and we're getting a glimpse here we really shouldn't be getting. Not that I'm complaining, but this is a big budget production, and we're not even seeing the whole ship assembled. So I wouldn't freak out over that at all. To me, I'm not worried about that at all. I've seen that, and I've followed enough movies to know that you can't judge it based on these amateur pictures that were taken, and they didn't even want them to be taken. So I think the prow looks awesome. As far as the rest of the ship, they're not really following the colors that Lewis described that much. You've got what Fantasia Kitty called them the swirls, and the name is kind of stuck. Those little golden patterns, which I think look really cool. They fit very nicely in with kind of the dragony theme of it. I'm not that crazy about the stern that we're seeing pictures of. We just got some pictures the other day. Looks a little too piratey for me. As far as the rest, it's kind of like, I don't know. It could be good. I kind of have to see it all together, but I know I love the prow. Hopefully I'll still love it when we see the whole ship together. The rest of it, I'm not really sure. I'm kind of liking it. What we haven't seen is the purple sail, which to me is almost as iconic as the dragon head. The Dawn Treader has a purple sail, and maybe it's because there's a part of the book where Lewis talks about kind of a purple smell, and somehow the Dawn Treader having a purple sail that's just too ingrained in my head. If it's not purple, it's just not really the Dawn Treader for me. So yeah, it's just one of those nitpicky things that as a geek I really want to see. But so overall, pretty happy with the Dawn Treader. Reserving final judgment obviously till I actually see the whole ship completed. But major thumbs up to the prow, and a reluctant thumbs up for the rest of the ship. We've got a lot of casting announcements. Now, most of it's kind of hard to talk about or really analyze. I haven't seen any of the with one exception. I haven't seen any of the movies these people are in, and it's mostly secondary characters anyway. There's a lot of different ways they could go with it. You've got Corey Yawkins as Billy Brown. Corey Yawkins is a fascinating character. He has a very small. He only has one scene, but I always kind of wish Lewis had written more about him. Maybe it's better that Lewis didn't. That you're kind of left wondering, like, what did he do? What crime did he commit as a star? I was always really curious about that character. A very mysterious character. I love it. One of my favorite secondary characters in the series, I think. You've got Gary Sweet as Drinian, Arthur Angel as Rince, Tony Nixon as Rhinelf. Rhinelf delivers one of this great speech towards the end of the book, which I hope they keep in the movie. Then we come to the only one that I can really say I'm truly disappointed about is Bruce Spence as Lord Roop. Now, Bruce Spence is a great actor, and he'll probably be great for Lord Roop. I've seen him in The Matrix Revolutions. I've seen him in Star Wars. Seen him in Lord of the Rings. He has a lot of experience acting under makeup and stuff, I know. And but this is the only. I was disappointed initially because this was the only case where I actually had Bruce Spence picked out for another role in Narnia. Usually I don't. Usually it's like I just see the characters. I can't think of who I want to play them. I just don't do that. With one exception. Now, Bruce Spence, I've seen him interviewed and stuff. I've seen him in a few other movies, and I think he'd be perfect to play a certain character. Now take a look at this picture right here from another movie that Bruce Spence did.
Got to start by finding it, have we? Not allowed to start by looking for it, I suppose?
Now, tell me this guy would not be perfect for Puddleglum. He looks awesome in this picture. He looks the part. I've seen him interviewed. I think he could play the part perfectly. He's got a lot of experience acting under makeup and stuff. I love him to play my favorite character, Puddleglum. I'd always had him, even before Prince Caspian came out, I always had him picked for Puddleglum. So unless Lord Roop gets like reincarnated as a Marshwiggle or something, I don't think that's going to happen. So that's the only thing. Not a huge deal, just kind of a disappointment. We do have the first pictures of the actors in costume. First off, you see Georgie Henley. She appears to be wearing Caspian's clothes. And I was kind of surprised they stayed true to that. That's one of those details I thought, oh, just give her girls' clothes, and it wouldn't have bothered me if they did. But they're staying true to that, and will she be in those clothes the whole time, or will they perhaps find some clothes at the Lone Islands or something? I hope they do. I wouldn't want her to be in those clothes for the entire movie. And the first picture of Will Poulter is Eustace in costume. First off, my major concern about Eustace was always that, Will Poulter seems so perfect for the role, but was he too old? He was 2 years older than Georgie. These pictures I feel a lot better now. He is taller than Georgie, but I can definitely see him passing for the younger cousin, which always seemed like an important part of the character to me, that he was the annoying younger cousin. So big sigh of relief. We got to see more pictures. The quality of these pictures isn't great, but big sigh of relief, I think, for that Poulter's age might not be an issue. Now we just got to hear his voice and see what that sounds like. And but I like the simplicity of these costumes. In Narnia, I don't like to see too much intricately detailed design. I think it works better to try to keep it as simple as possible. We've also got pictures of Coriocan's garden, and which to me looks way too Tim Burton-y. Like, Edward Scissorhands is one of my favorite movies, and this just evokes that way too much for me. To me, in the book, the thing that made that island interesting was that all the other islands are pretty fantastical, and here's one that's pretty ordinary. There's just a house and a garden, and there's almost something creepy about that, of coming to an island in the middle of nowhere, and there's sure signs of intelligent life. It's a very civilized place, but there's no sign of anyone. They're all invisible, of course. And there was something creepy about that. It's almost like the thing that makes it eerie is that it's not that eerie, and like you would expect. And I thought that was a cool sort of, playing with audience expectations, and I don't really see that in this one. This is a little too fantastical for me. Maybe I'll feel differently when I see the whole thing in context, but that was kind of my initial feeling. So that's kind of it for right now. In the next one, I'll talk about the press release. Two main things that came out of that. This whole deal with Narnia having to be saved from an unfathomable fate, which, oh man, that annoyed me reading that. And Shane Rangi, now we know he's going to be playing a Minotaur, which I'm not too happy about. So probably a lot of negative stuff in the next video. I'll be talking about the press release. But check Narnia Web every day. There's a lot going on. Like I said, there's at least one interesting story coming out every few days. They're shooting. It's happening further up and further in.